Alright, so for those of you who need help making a nose for this, could be a bear, this particular item is going to be a lion. You're going to start here and you're going to go 1, 2, in between here. So between rounds 2 and rounds 3. So I've got my tapestry needle and just some worsted black yarn, and you're going to stick it through the centers of this little circle thing. And I like it to span about 3 stitches. So it's going to come out here, it's going to come out here, and it's going to come out here. I just kind of keep playing with it until I get it the way I like it though. So I try and pull quite a bit of the yarn to like keep it going. And then I just kind of leave this down because this is going to be the other end of the mouth going down. Try and keep it straight, because if you don't and it gets a little wonky, when you bring it back down, it's going to be kind of crooked. So I try and keep it straight with this thumb. And then I just keep going back and forth. So because it's coming out here, I'm going to go right back in that middle, come back out this side where the yarn already is, and pull it. The tail's getting a little in the way. That's all right. And you just keep making passes. But this time when you're pulling it, kind of pull the yarn more to one side or the other, so that way it makes it a little bigger. You want to make it sure that there's no white in between, but now it's a little thicker, and it's okay if there's a little bit because we're just going to go over it a couple times. This time I want to kind of cover up that white, and then if I want, maybe I'll go to the next side, because we can go over these things a couple times before it gets really done. Let's see how wide that already is. And then this one's going to do the same thing. We're going to go over it a couple times because it's going to span a couple stitches. It helps if you have this curved tapestry needle. If you don't have the curved tapestry needle, you can do it with a regular needle. It just works way better if you have a curve. So I'm going to kind of make that go on that side. I'm going to move on to the next stitch. Make sure it's still working for me. And kind of angle it a little bit. Maybe I want it here. Sometimes you can move your yarn on either side to kind of help map out the placement of it. And I just kind of keep doing it until I like it. There's no set amount of strands you should be going back and forth. You just keep going it until you think that the nose is filled. I like it to have a more filled spot right here. This is too big of a gap for me, so I'm going to keep filling it until there's less white in between here and here and here and here. And sometimes I'll go back to the other one. That kind of helps fill in the space a little bit, because now I'm at a different angle. Maybe I'll go back to this one. There's really no set way to do it, as long as you're filling in that space. See how it's already getting smaller? Maybe I'll go all the way over here, and that's going to get filled in a little bit more. Go back to the middle. The whole time still anchoring down here with this thumb, so that way it doesn't move on us. Because if it moves, let me tell you, it is very strange to try and put the mouth down the middle. Make sure this lines up nicely. Maybe one more. And then I'm going to kind of go out the side. My tail's a little small, but that's okay. So that one didn't line up as nicely, but because I've got the needle, I can just scooch it over a little bit where it fills in that white spot. And then because this tail's a little short, another thing you can do is just take this and keep going until you're done, filling it in more if you wanted. And then when you're done, it would just come down to the bottom. But that's totally up to you. Pause. Alright, so I played with it a little bit more. See how it's definitely more filled in up the top, so less white is in between those couple stitches. So now I've got it back out the middle, and now it needs to come down straight like this, so it looks like a mouth. You're going to go down, this is round 1, round 2. And you're going to go in between round 2 and round 3, just like we did with the nose. So I like to kind of go right here. And we only need one line. You don't need more than one line. If you do more, it just kind of looks a little too much. So then I'm kind of angling my needle to go out where my other little tail is, because that's what I'm going to tie together and hide it. So just going to keep pulling it, making sure it's straight. It doesn't have to be too tight either, because it's just going to kind of be there. And I shape the nose a little bit with my fingers, bulge it a little bit. So I think it's in the middle. And then now I can just tie this right here. I always do a double knot or a square knot, so that way it's not going anywhere. And then once it's tied, you can cut the end. You don't need that anymore. And then some people use their scissors. I just feel like I don't want to stab my creature. So I use like this flat edge and just kind of stick it in, push it in hard, and then keep pushing in the end so that way it's gone. That way they won't be coming back out, hopefully, when somebody's trying to love your item. Another thing that you can do is stick the needle underneath it and kind of push it in that way too. Kind of fills in the gap a little bit. But feel free to kind of work with it a little bit. It's okay if it's not doing it the first try. Sometimes I get too much stuffing in there and it's hard to get the knot in past the stuffing. Oh, that might have been it. There we go. And there's your little face. So it's a tapestry nose instead of having to use a safety eye nose, but you can definitely use a safety eye nose if you'd rather. But, yep, that's the nose.